It's dusk, a bitter winter day at the Gretz farm in southern Ontario. It's about this time that Wayne would have been playing down on the river behind me, playing shinny, learning how to play this game of hockey. If you listen very carefully, maybe you'll hear Walter telling him to come in out of the cold. You see, all around the world, Wayne Gretzky is a celebrity. He's a hero. In Canada, a national treasure. In Brantford, Ontario, he's Walter's son. Because this isn't a story about a super hockey player. This is a story about a relationship between a boy and his father. That boy just happens to be the greatest hockey player in the world.
It's 7 a.m. in winter in Brantford, Ontario, a satellite town southwest of Toronto. Phyllis and Walter's suburban home is awake with the morning routine, and it looks no different than any other on the street. But take a closer look back behind the house, and you'll see the eldest already busy at work, logging an hour and a half before the daily grind at grade school, and he'll add many more before the day is up. He breaks only to eat, but not long enough to unlace his skates. Around this neighborhood, he's simply known as Wayne, his parents' firstborn of 5. His friends just call him Gretz. But by his 10th birthday, he would be known far beyond that backyard, clear across the country, and soon in international headlines, simply as the Great One. Hockey began for the 2-year-old Gretzky as a skate on the frozen Nith River that threaded through his grandparents' farm. His first goal was not scored there, but instead inside the farmhouse one Saturday night with a souvenir stick from a Blackhawk game and a small rubber ball. His grandmother, Mary, first scrimmaged with Wayne, her legs as the battered goalposts.
I think a lot of things I learned in life about respect came from my grandparents, and that, you know, they probably spoiled me rotten, and I probably could have gotten away with anything with them because, like I said, they were my grandparents. They, you know, Wayne, whatever you want sort of thing, as they did to all their other kids. And I spent so much time with them, probably more than any other grandchild they had because they lived so close. And I would spend 4, 5, 6 weeks with my grandparents. And at that age, I think I learned that even though I could have gotten away with anything, I had the respect for them not to want to disappoint them, and I think that benefited me later on in life.
With that kind of support behind him, Wayne's fascination with the sport quickly swelled into a passion, then an addiction that meant long hours on the ice in the park, until one day, Walter hosed and chiseled a rink out of his own backyard. It was christened the Wally Coliseum, and it saw action in the early morning, late at night, and on endless weekends.
I remember the night I came home and my feet were frozen, and I said, Phyllis, I got an idea. I'm going to make a rink in the backyard, and I could sit here in the window and watch him, and he could stay as long as he wants out in the backyard. So it was a case of self-preservation. That's how the rink started.
Okay, can we go out and you and I skate on the rink now? I mean,
no,
you
not
don't
anymore.
What happened to the rink? Where's my rink?
The kids are gone, the rink is gone, there's a pool there now for Phyllis.
That's I see. He ended his first season with a single goal, and although he was short on years, he soon proved to be long on talent. The following season, Wayne chalked up 27 goals, then 104 during the next, and 196 in the one after that. And then, after 8 years on skates, in just 69 games, Wayne racked up a whopping 378 goals. And all of a sudden, all at once, it was the best day, the worst day, and the last day of his childhood. Smothered by the press, the new hockey sensation was interviewed more than some National Hockey League players. A Wayne Gretzky autograph became hot, new property, and Gretzky bashing became the town's hot, new spectator sport.
Wayne was like a lot of people. He had big ears. He could hear everything that was going on, and in a moment of anger or frustration, he would hear some of the parents or different people shout obscene remarks to him, and Wayne was a very quiet person, and we felt that it would bother him mentally in the long run.
The pressure and pettiness crushed his spirit, until finally at 14, when most boys his age were consumed with girls or grades or the game of the week, he left the people he loved and hated to live and play and lose himself in the obscurity of Toronto.
No doubt about it. Like, we missed Wayne not being home. Sure. Thank goodness he was only an hour away from us, so he's always home on the weekends and through the summer, of course. And I know he speaks of it, and he says he just regrets the childhood, as he put it, because he really never got to know his brothers that well. And of course, Brent being the youngest, he wasn't with them all that much, and nor Glenn even.
Were you coaching? How did you?
Not at that time. No. I coached him 1 year, but 1 year was enough.
For you or for Wayne?
I think maybe for both of us.
My dad was one of these kind of guys that he still is. He philosophizes. Everything's for a reason, and he's very methodical. And one of the things he told me about when I was a kid, he said, never skate behind the net and warm up. When guys have the puck and they're shooting, he said, they're not looking. You're going to get one in the head. You're going to get one in the leg. It's going to knock you out. So I always said, okay, so one game I'm playing, and I'm behind the net in the warm-up, and I've just happened to forget. And after the game, I'll never forget, my dad said, you know, Wayne, you got to listen to me. Don't go behind the net. So I said, okay, now I understand. And I'm standing there, I carry the sticks out on the bench, and it's a cold, old rink, and it's freezing. And I'm watching the warm-up. All of a sudden, I turn this way, and there are all these players all around, and I'm wondering, what's going on? And I remember it like it was yesterday. And all of a sudden, I see them, they're picking my dad up, and they had him both by each arm. They're taking him off the ice. He got hit right, right in the coconut. And I said, oh, I'll never forget asking him, what happened? What happened? He says, oh, he says, I don't know. He says, I went behind that damn net.
LA's new import gave hockey and the Kings a much-needed facelift in a city that had long been dictated by the seasons of football, baseball, and basketball. After his arrival, Kings ticket sales tripled, and the team sold out the Forum, even during the Dodgers' first home game of the 1989 World Series.
He's been a great ambassador off the ice for us. And his move to Los Angeles, one that he probably didn't want to take place, has really, I think, established an anchor of the NHL on the West Coast.
We're in the middle of the hockey season. But how can you focus on a winter sport when you've got all this? Well, for 20 years, no one did. These are the kind of crowds they used to draw at the Kings games. And then Wayne Gretzky came, and everything changed. Because now it's a media event. It's the place to be if you're in business, if you're in the movies, be at the game. Well, Wayne Gretzky has changed hockey. Has Los Angeles changed Wayne Gretzky? Has the small town gone out of the small town boy?
Boy, I don't know. Maybe it has, you know, maybe it has. Maybe I'm a little more relaxed now than I used to be. Maybe a little more easygoing. Maybe I don't worry about all the pressures that I used to worry about. But as a person, I don't think I've changed. I don't think I'll ever change. I don't think it matters whether you live in LA, Edmonton, New York, Brantford. You still got to treat people the same. But maybe I've changed in the sense that I'm a little bit more laid back now.
As far as Wayne the individual changing towards his family since he moved to LA, he hasn't changed one bit. We hear from him more now than we did when he was in Edmonton. And we always, or I do, gauge on how happy he is by the number of times he'll call. When he starts calling 3-4 times a week, then you know he's pretty happy. One of his aims is to be on a championship team in LA, and I certainly hope it happens, because if it ever happens, I think it'll be even greater than the first Stanley Cup the Edmonton Oilers ever won.
Would he come back to Canada?
Oh, I think he'll always stay in LA now, and he said the kids will have to decide when they're 18 whether they want to be Canadian or American. Right. And I don't think he'll move from LA. It's his home now.
Well, it's funny because my dad's always had this thing about teasing people who are American. He always says, those Yankees, those Americans. And what happens, I married an American girl. His first grandchild ever was born in America. And I think he was beside himself for a while. My dad's a very proud Canadian. And we have dual citizenship for our daughter. And I remember the day I got it, I said to my wife, I said, I got to tell you, I was excited about it, but I said, my father is going to be so excited about this, I got to fax this to him right now.
As soon as Paulina became a citizen, you got the fax, is that?
Oh, yeah, he sent it to me right away. Actually, he phoned and he said, Dad, go up and check your fax machine. And I says, why? He said, you're going to find something quite interesting. So I said, well, hang on. I ran upstairs, and sure enough, I came back, and there was a photostat copy of Paulina's Canadian citizenship paper.
That's great.
It
And
was.
what did you get after him about after that? What was your next complaint? Because I know you're not going to let him off the hook.
Well, I asked him if he had ties yet.
You were playing on the West Coast a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember, and I came by your dad's house. I came by at 1 o'clock, and your dad had said, just come right in. I felt foolish coming in. I rang the bell, and he gave me heat that I took him away from the game. And by the way, the game is played where? What's the name of the room where they watch the game?
Well, I go there in the off season, and I see they walk me downstairs and they say, okay, now here's the room where the guys who've been here for a while, they know how to what they got to do and what they can say during the game, because my dad doesn't want anybody talking because he wants to hear everything that's said on TV. So I think they call it the gold room.
That's right. That's the gold seats.
The gold seats, yeah.
Right.
And in the back there, they call it the red seats after Maple Leaf Gardens because it goes gold, red.
To the Reds. But I mean, I couldn't believe the first time I heard somebody came in late and they said, no more seats in the golds. Got to go in the red. You know, in the red is.
Funny. I'd like to be a fly on the wall there one time because.
Look at this play.
All right.
Look at that, that's it.
Shoot. Slow motion.
Ow! Oh, jeez.
It looked like they were slow motion, and they what?
It should be 2-0 for the Kings now. They'll come back and just slide one across the line.
It's funny because I'll come in the locker room after the first period, and whether or not I had a bad first period or a good first period or something happened, Marty always will say to me, Wayne, he'll say, listen, Big Wally's watching, you better get it going.
If you need me to explain any of these things that are going on, the
I'll
intricacies
call on
here-
you, Coach. I'll call on you. Phyllis, did you hear him?
Oh, yeah, she must have heard me. She's yawning.
It's 10:30, Wally.
Yeah, Phyllis is in bed by now.
She's just about done.
I can't stand to be so damn quiet. I was never this quiet at a hockey game.
This is a scene could happen anywhere around the world. Watching a hockey game. It's becoming one of the most popular sports in this world. Of course, Butch is a friend. Murray's out trying to get the wings with honey on them, I guess. Phyllis and Walter, it just means that they get a chance to watch one of their children express himself. And the greatest thing about it is Wayne Gretzky now knows what he has to pass on to his children. That's what makes him and this family a legend. How did you like that? That was good. Is that a good finish?
That's not bad there, Jack.
Is that right? Okay. All
Thank
right.
you for your
We forgot to.
You might get a chicken wing.
thank you for your kind words, and I'll tell the truth.
No. Well, the truth is, thank God for Phyllis.
Oh,
I mean, that's
yeah.
the truth.
You just had to throw
I know
that
that.
in,
Wait a
Jack.
minute. Until I get my hands on those wings, I'm not taking any chances.
They're supposed to
on
be honey
anything.
garlic,
Huh?
but the last time we had wings, they're so hot. I'll tell you,
They were.
Hey, Butch, they were. When even Wayne says, Dad,
I had a sauna that night.
he says, there's fire coming out of my mouth.